Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're heading up to the mighty Humber River for a 2-day cod fishing adventure. I've heard so many stories about the cod that push into this system and I wanted to see for myself what it's all about. Across the next couple of days I'll be exploring the tides and putting a few tactics to the test. And yes, we do find the fish. So grab a brew, settle in and join me for 2 days of graft, surprises and some cracking cod fishing on the Humber. So let's get into it. We are finally out. Welcome back to Ocean's Edge Fishing. If you join me today, we are on the Humber River. We've come up to try and catch some cod. From what I hear, it's been fishing quite hard. I've spoke to a couple of tackle shops. I've spoke to various people. I've been on Facebook and stuff and looking at the catch reports, and it's been pretty hard going, to be honest. But with the south coast and the winds and the weather we've been having, it's been an absolute nightmare for me to get out fishing. I've managed to do one session since Christmas. I went down to Southbourne, tried to make a video out of it. I couldn't keep a rod in the water for more than 3 minutes probably due to the weed. We'd had some big storms just before, so we only fished for about an hour and a half and we packed up and went home. Obviously this is a long journey for me. This has taken me just over 3 hours to get up here, so I'm going to fish it all day today, all the way into the evening, into darkness. I'm staying in a hotel locally tonight and then I'll be back out here again tomorrow morning until sort of early afternoon, get the best of the tides, and then I'll be on the road home. So we're here for cod. Obviously anything else, if I can pick it up whilst I'm here, would be ideal. We've got about 2 hours now till high tide. It's really pulling through at the minute. We're getting quite a bit of weed coming through, which isn't ideal. I've already had the tripod go over. I have been here since about 5:30. I think it's getting on for probably about just after 7 now. I've got one rod out on yellowtails on a 2-hook clip down, and I've got the other rod on black lug and squid on a pulley pennel rig. Yeah, so as you can see, it's pulling along. So I'm gonna have to go, I'm gonna have to sort these rods out and I'll bring you back shortly. So I'll just show you some of the bait I've got today. I've got some wonderful English squid. I've got some crab carp. That one's actually defrosted now. I left it out, I forgot all about it, which isn't ideal. I've got some more in the cool box, which is still frozen. And then down here, I've got some live yellowtails. I'll be using those definitely, putting those on a single, on the 2-hook flapper, 2-hook clip down. And then I've got some nice black lug as well. So yeah, we've got that. We've got crab with us, a bit of everything really. So we've got plenty of bait. I've just brought that rod in. The tide is really pulling at the moment, and the weed is getting on the line and it's dragging it round. Even if I've got 8-ounce leads on, and I'm letting out a big boa line as well, trying to sort of up tide effect, but it's not proving very very effective at the moment. I was the first one here this morning, but now all the bays are full. So yeah, it's getting busy. But I'll let the tide come up a little bit more and then we'll get the rods out. I'm not quite sure what just happened on the left-hand rod there. I looked away and I was looking at the factories actually behind me. And when I looked back up, the rod was completely slack. I'm just trying to see if maybe the lead's just broken out, or maybe we've had a bite, I'm not sure. I think it might have just been the lead breaking out. I can't remember which bait that one is. I think that's the yellowtails on the 2-hook clip down, that one. Yeah, we're getting a bite on that left-hand rod. There's something here. Let's have that one in, I think. Let's have a look. A little bit of weight there. Bit snaggy down there though. we've got one. I've got to try and get him up here though. I'm going to have to go over and get him. Bear with me. Ugh. There we go. We got a codling, only a couple of pound, but that's what I came for. I'm chuffed with that. That was on the yellowtails, on the two at clip down. So yeah, result. Let's he can go back. He's only a tiny one, so we'll let him go. Well happy. First ever cod from the shore. Lovely fish. Little barbel on the front there. Awesome. Right, let's get him back. So I'll just show you what I'm doing with this rig. So this is just a 2 clip down. So on the bottom snood, I'm putting a live yellowtail. Grab one of them. So I'll just show you how I'm baiting this rig up. So we've got a live yellowtail on there, on the bottom snood. I've threaded it all the way down the baiting needle. Just up and round. They are a bit explosive at times. So pop him on there. Then I find if you just pop the last bit, the tail, over the eye of the hook, it stops it from sliding. So that's on there. Try and straighten that up. That's the bottom snood, and then the top snood. I'm just getting a black lug, again with the bait needle. Just thread that all the way down. Try not to come out the side if you can. Once you get to like the sandy bit at the bottom, I just come out the side. Get your bait elastic. This just helps it stay on the hook that little bit better. Don't do it too tight. If you do it too tight, it'll just split the worm. Try and keep it a bit bunched up. So just like that. I literally go up it once and then back down it again. The other thing to note is don't go at too much of an angle because it'll curl the bait. Pretty much what that yellowtail's done, but you can't help that because they're live and there's no elastic on them anyway. So just like that. Pull that off, break that last bit off, find your hook wherever it is. So I'm going to put this one out on the pulley rod now because obviously I've had a fish, so it'd be silly not to fish with what I've caught on. So again, just help it over the eye of the hook and then slide that back like that. I've got my bait stop on there, slide that down. And that's it. Then I'll clip it up and whack it out. And that's pretty much it. So I'm not fishing a million miles out because the tide's so strong. It's hard to hold bottom at the moment. Let me bring this other rod in. So I have come across a little bit of an issue. When my tripod went over this morning, first thing, it's cracked the ceramic and smashed the ceramic on the third ring up on the left hand rod, and it's fraying the line. I'll see how I get on with it. I've got it back out again now, but if it starts to cause me problems, then I'll have to go down to one rod. Typically I didn't bring a spare rod with me. I did think about it when I was at home and I thought, no, that'll be fine, you don't need that. So yeah, oh, it's actually this rod now. Sorry, I've swapped it over. You can see it's fraying the mono. So it's this ring here. It's actually, I can see it's smashed. There's a really sharp edge on it there, which is not ideal at all, especially when we're so early into the session. I mean, what is the time now? It's 9 o'clock on Saturday and I'm here till tomorrow afternoon. So I may be fishing with one rod, but we'll see how we get on. I am going to see if I can get a bit of insulation tape or something later on, just to wrap around the ring. maybe that'll get me through tomorrow morning anyway. But I can't leave. If I could, I'd leave the bay now and go and find some tape and do it. But the problem is, it's so busy. I mean, there's literally every bay's taken, and you guaranteed the minute I go, somebody will jump in here. So I'm going to have to persevere with it. If it means going down to one rod, then so be it. What I am concerned about, obviously, is if I do get something decent on this right-hand rod, there is a chance that the line could go. I mean, am I silly for taking that risk? I don't know. We'll see what happens over the next sort of hour. If it does get any worse and the line starts fraying like really bad, then I'll have no choice but to bring it in. I'd rather just fish with one rod than risk leaving all the gear and stuff with a fish hooked up with all the, you know, trailing the lead round and everything. It's just not fair, and it's not worth it. So I'll see how I get on. If it does cause a problem, then I'll put it away. Well, unfortunately, yesterday proved pretty unproductive after that one fish that we had. I had a couple of bites, but nothing sort of materialised from it. So we're back out again today. I've been here since about 6 o'clock this morning. It's coming up to about 7 now. There's a few people arriving. I got down here a little bit earlier just to make sure I could get in a spot. With Stallingborough Wall, it does get very busy. I mean, literally now, every single bay is full. So if I'd have been half an hour later, then I wouldn't have got a spot. So we're here now. I've got the 2 rods out. I've done a bit of a bodge fix on the ring. I put a bit of rig glue on the ceramic and just sort of bulked it out a little bit to cover up the crack and the split bit. Hopefully that'll be all right just to get me through today, and then I'll have to get it repaired. But same sort of thing today. I've got two clip downs out, probably 60 yards, something like that. So both the rods are on two clip downs. I've got one on yellowtails only, so yellowtail top and bottom hook, and the other one has got a yellowtail on the bottom and some lugworm on the top. I popped into Squids in Sea Baits last night just to pick up some fresh bait. As I was running low, the yellowtails that I'd got were about 2 or 3 days old, and although I've changed the seawater in them, they'd blown, unfortunately. So I went and got some fresh bait. So we've got fresh baits, we've got new rigs on. The rigs are holding, surprisingly. I'm doing sort of a bit of up tiding thing, cast up tide, big boa line, and allow the lead to dig in. So let's hopefully see if we can get another one before we go. I'm going to be here till probably 1 o'clock, I think, is going to be a push. Depending on the tide, I think we'll lose the tide by then. So that's the plan. I'll show you the bait in a minute, and obviously I'll show you my rigs, and hopefully we can get into one. Let's see how we get on. So that's the yellowtails I got. You have to excuse me, I have to put the light on so you can see. They're really lively, actually. Nice worms. I have to say the bait from Squids In is very good. It's always worth getting it from there. And then in here, I've got some lugworm in there. Just half a pound of lug, just enough to cover me for today. I have got other baits with me, but I think the worm seems to be the one that seems to be catching. I think other people, when they've caught on worms, so that's what we'll go with. If I don't have any joy in a couple of hours, then I may switch it up, but that's the plan for now anyway. So for people who haven't seen a yellowtail or a lugworm or anything before, that is the bait that I'm using. That's a yellowtail worm. Very strange looking things, I have to say. See if I can get a better view for you. And then if you're wondering why they're called yellowtails, I mean obviously that and that. It's horrendous. I would advise wearing gloves, I really would. So I just bought the left-hand rod in, and we've got a little flounder on there. Very tiny one. Very strange looking things, aren't they? Cool though. You know it's a flounder because if you rub up the lateral line, the flounder will be rough and the place will be smooth. They look very similar, but that's definitely a flounder. So it's really hard to hold these actually, so you can see them properly. There you go. Yeah, right, let's get this little one back. It just goes to show what a flounder will take, because that had two great big yellowtail worms on there and a bit of squid on the end, and he nailed that. So I think you could have caught some flounder if you wanted to here, if I'd have been fishing like ragworm and stuff and smaller hooks, but I was here for the cod really, so it's a long way, 3 hours to drive here and try and catch a few flounders. I can go down the south coast and do that. But I've got them out now, both still on the same rigs, same baits. I've got about an hour left. I've got 2 more rigs baited up, ready to go, and they're going to be my last cast. So I'm going to give these a little bit longer this time, because I'm bringing the baits back and all the baits there. So I'm not being stripped or anything. I'm just worried about the scent, sort of, there not being fresh scent in the water. But I'm going to give these ones probably about 25 minutes, and then recast the other ones, and see if we can pick one up before we go. We're getting to about the time now, yesterday in the tide, where I had that small codling, so, and where I had started having other bites as well. So I'm going to give it, probably another hour, and then I need to get on the road. I've got, like I said, 3 hours, just over 3 hours drive home, so need to get back really. I think we just had a bite. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we got a fish on here. A bit of weight there. We've gone over the top of the other line. Yep. You have to excuse the car running in the background. The battery was coming up saying that the battery was low. What's going on here? I don't know whether I'm over or under the other rod or what. We've got another cod. I'm going to have to go down and get him, but you're going to have to bear with me. The staying paid off. There we go, that's a better one. Not massive. I might give him away, just see how big he is, but it's been hard work this morning. I've really put everything I can into it. That was short range, literally 35-40 yards out. So yeah, on the yellowtails again. So what a result. I'm chuffed for that. So I'm going to take this one home. He's coming home with me for dinner. Awesome. I'll give him away and let you know what he weighs. So I've just weighed him. He's £3.4. So yeah, that is £3.4. That's a PB shore caught cod. ridiculous, isn't it, really? But yeah, he's coming home with me. He's going to make some nice fish fingers or something like that. Awesome. I may stay for another half an hour. Wow. I was literally just putting the stuff away, like starting to pack down, sorting out the bait and stuff like that, and looked up and the rod was completely slack. So I wound down and it was literally going over, bouncing, and I was like, right, okay, we've got a cod on here. So that was a result. Only thing is, I've already told the missus I'm packing up. I may stay a little bit longer. If she asks, I've gone, all right? Well, I think that's us done for the day. We've lost the tide now. Although it does fish better over low water, they say, but both those fish have come over the same time on the tide, really, on the ebb, just before it drops off of the rocks down in front of me. I've got a long journey home, so I'm going to get on the road and head back. Please do me one favour. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. It doesn't cost you a penny. All you've got to do is subscribe to it, and then you'll see my uploads of all my fishing videos and any content that I put on there. It'd really help me out, and obviously it helps build the channel. I'm not trying to make a living out of it. That's not the goal. It's just I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the editing side of it. I love fishing. I've done it for a long time. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Drop a comment in there if you want to talk about anything, or if you think I've done anything wrong, or if you want a bit of advice or anything like that, I'll be happy to help. So until the next time, look after yourselves, and I'll see you then.